Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, get the recap of this year's State of the Union.
See new statistics on whether the money you spend on your degree is worth it, and check out a feature on one of Quinnipiac's top basketball players.
Also get the story on a local gourmet cookie shop.
All that and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast right now.
Welcome back into Studio 125 for another episode of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Emma Morris.
And I'm Freddie Martin.
The State of the QUnion took place on Wednesday, which was led by the SGA to discuss campus issues and student life with university administration.
Q30's Amarri Smith has the recap of the yearly event.
Today, Quinnipiac held its annual State of the QUnion, a panel that allows students to converse with the university's administrators.
I think the main takeaway for students is not only to hear what other students think, but to have the administrators share their thoughts and perspectives on some of these issues.
The panel featured CXO Tom Ellett, Provost Deborah Leibowitz, and Vice President of Inclusive Excellence John Armendariz, as well as President Marie Hardin, her first State of the QUnion of her tenure.
The institution gets created, right, becomes stronger when we all engage, when we hear what you're thinking, what the pain points are, the things we might want to change, what are your priorities, because our goal is to create an institution that's going to make students successful.
Hopefully it shows how accessible administration can be to students, and that we want you to succeed, and we want you to be partners in this process.
The panel was hosted by the Student Government Association in the hopes to create a transparent relationship between students and faculty.
I think it's really important to know that admin do hear your concerns, even if they just can't act immediately. They do hear student concerns, not just from events today, but on an everyday basis. And they do have our best interests at heart and are going to try to come up with solutions to address our issues, even though they're in various areas on campus.
I think having these kinds of opportunities to talk to administrators is exactly how positive change happens on campus, and it's a way that students, all 7,000 of us or whatever number it is now, are able to do that. Obviously SGA are elected students that are here to advocate for student concerns, but each student here has something to say. We each experience different things, whether you're a commuter, you're a non-traditional student, you live on campus, first generation. So I love that we have these opportunities to hear from student experiences and have them bring their concerns to campus.
Overall, I think events like this are really important for the school and the students to be able to voice their opinions to the higher-ups in the university we all go to. Students
voiced questions ranging from housing and finances to accessibility and inclusivity, all of which were discussed and directed to resources on campus.
This gives us the first-hand opportunity to hear from students directly, things that they're happy with and things they're not happy about.
The university plans to continue its transparency and communication with its student body. Reporting from the Mount Carmel campus for Q30 News, I'm Amarri Smith.
February 16th through the 20th is Human Trafficking Awareness Week. Quinnipiac School of Law is hosting events and panels to bring awareness to the global issue. Some of the events include human trafficking trivia, a panel about sentencing reform for victims, and what is really known about high-profile sex trafficking rings with notable celebrities like Jeffrey Epstein. The event started on Monday and will go through Thursday.
Professor and Director of the QU Advancing Diversity in Science Initiative, Cindy Kern, recently published a national study collaborating with alumni Emily Sparago, who graduated back in 2020. Professor Kern's study, Belonging by Design, showed how students' sense of belonging in STEM can be created through structured relationships. The project used social network analysis on a program over the summer and found belonging increased across all participants.
Governor Ned Lamont proposed a state-run loan program for graduate students. These would replace federal loans for people pursuing professions including nursing, physical therapy, social work, and education. The Connecticut Supplemental Graduate Student Loan Program will continue to give students access to low-interest loans. This comes after President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which changed the federal loan system. Speaking of student loans, the price of college continues to raise many questions and concerns regarding how worthy the investment into a degree is. Q30's Miranda Batorti has more on the story.
With the cost of secondary education continuing to rise, many are left wondering just how financially worthwhile this major expense has become and if there's a way to numerically measure that value. A recent Georgetown study did just that. Using data through 2021-22, Georgetown University calculated the return on investment, or ROI, for 4,600 colleges and universities across the nation. Looking at schools around the state of Connecticut, Yale University was the frontrunner when it came to the greatest 40-year ROI, followed by Fairfield University and then Quinnipiac, with all three universities sitting within the $3 million range. The way that return on investment was calculated in the study was by taking the average earnings each year after enrollment and subtracting the average net price of the school or the average cost after financial aid from it. State schools pulled from in-state tuition costs, and this study did not take student debt into consideration, which weighs heavily on many residents. Even with notable universities taking the top spots long-term, it's schools known for associate's degrees and trade certificates that have the most initial value. The Industrial Management Training Institute placed first out of all 47 Connecticut post-high school institutions included in the survey. Yale fell to fourth, looking only 10 years out from graduation, and Fairfield and Quinnipiac sit 30th and 31st, respectively. ROI rates are influenced by many factors, including graduation rates, and tend to vary based on the field of degree a student chooses, even within one university. One thing is true across the board, though. For private and public universities, the ROI on bachelor's degrees overall has been decreasing due to the rising costs of the education. Reporting from Quinnipiac University for Q30 News, I'm Miranda Patorti.
QUnion is hosting Battle of the Orgs on Tuesday and Thursday with the goal to fundraise and promote student engagement within the organization. There will be 4 teams that compete for Miracle Points, with 28 different organizations being involved in total throughout the 2-day event. Teams will continue the dance marathon that has been proved to be beneficial to many young children in Connecticut. The friendly competition is designed to bring the campus together while supporting QUnion's overall mission of raising money for children's health initiatives.
Speaking of QUnion, Q30 Television has been streaming the annual QUnion Dance Marathon since 2018. We will be streaming it again this year, and we will be live from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, March 21st. Make sure to tune in at Q30TV.com to see our live stream.
The university will host its second Strategic Visioning Community Session this Thursday, February 19th. The event builds from discussions from Part 1 and revisits key insights gathered through a community survey. Community members are encouraged to attend either the Mount Carmel session from 12:30 to 1:45 p.m. in Site 201 or the session on North Haven campus from 2:30 to 3:45 p.m. in the School of Medicine auditorium. While the frigid temperatures we're all used to are slowly going away, I think we might have to start breaking out the umbrellas this weekend.
Yeah, we have Zach Stokinger in studio to give us the 3-day weather.
Thanks, Emma and Freddie. The skies have opened up today, unfortunately. It's been raining all day and it will continue through the rest of the night with a high of 39 today and a low of 30. But switching gears to Thursday tomorrow, looking like some sun will be peeking through the clouds. It's going to be a high of 38 and a low of 29. But then on Friday, the rain will make its comeback with a high of 36 and a low of 30. Stay tuned in the rest of the newscast and also for my 7-day weather forecast, where we also look around the Nutmeg State. Stay tuned, though, as Q30 News has to go on break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
What?
My.
Oh.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Amarri Monroe is in his final year playing basketball at QUnion. He's had a big career here, and on Wednesday he sat down with Professor Petruskevich to talk about where he started.
Q30's Christina Jimenez has the story.
This morning, Professor Nick Petruskevich interviewed Quinnipiac basketball star Amarri Monroe on his YouTube series, What's Your Story? Students in the audience got the chance to ask Amarri their own questions to find out more about his story. One hot topic was his decision to come back to Quinnipiac this year after he entered the transfer portal at the end of last year.
And I think that was the best decision I could make for myself, my career.
He came back as the reigning player of the year to get them to the NCAA tournament. There was a target on his back the minute he said he's coming back, and he's okay with that.
Amarri also reflected on the Bobcats' 83-75 defeat of the Pittsburgh Panthers in November.
It was pretty cool. I think that's one of the better things this year. And I think that just proved that I can handle.
He was also asked about his plans after college, and he was hopeful about his future in basketball.
So I see myself playing for a couple of years and then get into coaching.
Professor Petruskevich thought that students would be able to get a valuable lesson out of getting a chance to talk to Amarri during this episode of his series.
The big part that I'm trying to teach a lot of classes is not so much to worry about the games, but find out about the people. Sports is just kind of that vehicle to tell stories. He's got a great story to tell, and he tells it so well.
Amarri will play his last home game as a Bobcat on Sunday as the team will face off against the Fairfield Stags. Reporting from CCE for Q30 News, I'm Christina Jimenez.
The Office of Inclusive Excellence and Assistant Professor Donald McCulley held an event for Black History Month on Tuesday. They had a meaningful conversation with members of the university on how to navigate imposter syndrome as a Black scholar. They created a space to have discussions that explored identity, resilience, and strategies for affirming belonging and finding confidence within academic spaces.
Handprints for Sunshine is holding a winter clothing drive Monday through Friday in the Student Center this week, looking for winter clothes which they'll donate to those in need as we hit the back half of this cold season. Items such as coats, hats, gloves, and sweaters are greatly appreciated and can make a real difference for families facing freezing temperatures. Their table is open to donations from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. throughout the week, so be sure to stop by and contribute if you can.
A workshop was held on Monday led by Professor Dave Tomczak to help participants create research projects using surveys. It took place in the School of Business and was a part of the M&T Bank Center for Women in Business Research Award Program. The workshop was focused on how gathering quantitative data is a powerful tool for survey research.
Quinnipiac hosted another of the 4 mythology workshops, part of M&T Bank Center for Women in Business Research Award Series, on Tuesday. The program introduced faculty and students to the fundamentals of qualitative research. They emphasized it as a theory-building method with real academic impact. It supports this year's theme, The Future of Work, focusing on AI, automation, evolving work models, and their implications for women and leadership. A lot has been happening up at the nation's capital recently. Q30's Melissa Sheehan has more.
Tonight in politics, 3 big storylines colliding: a heated Capitol Hill showdown, a growing Epstein Files fight, and political fireworks at the Winter Olympics. We start on Capitol Hill, where the Justice Department oversight hearing turned into a 5-hour political sparring match. Attorney General Pam Bondi faced sharp questioning before the House Judiciary Committee over the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation and file releases. Lawmakers pressed her on why more alleged co-conspirators have not been charged. The exchanges grew personal, including a clash with ranking member Jamie Raskin. Bondi addressed survivors in the room, saying, quote, "I am deeply sorry for the abuse you suffered," end quote. Republican lawmaker Nancy Mace also broke with the department's approach, saying, quote, "I have lost all faith in our Justice Department," end quote. That hearing feeds directly into the next flashpoint tonight, the battle over the Epstein files themselves. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is now accusing the Trump administration of a cover-up in a recent interview. Clinton said, quote, "Get the files out. They are slow walking it," end quote, and called for public disclosure. She and former President Bill Clinton have been ordered to give congressional depositions, but say that they would prefer to testify in public. All of this is happening while the Department of Homeland Security remains in a partial shutdown over an immigration policy standoff, and top DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin is set to leave her post. And from the hearing room to the half pipe, politics is now bleeding into the Olympics. Several Team USA athletes are speaking out about the current administration, and President Donald Trump is firing back. Freestyle skier Hunter Hess said, quote, "It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now. Just because I am wearing the flag does not mean I represent everything going on," end quote. Trump responded on social media calling Hess a real loser, end quote. Figure skater Amber Glenn also criticized administration policies affecting the LGBTQ community, saying, quote, "I hope I can use my voice and this platform to help people stay strong," end quote. Vice President Vance added that athletes who step into political debate should expect pushback, saying, quote, "You are not there to pop off about politics," end quote. Those are tonight's top political headlines. Now back to the desk.
Well, we have to take our second break here in studio, but when we come back, recent cases of measles have skyrocketed across the United States.
Plus, Q30's Sophia DeBona has your national news update. Stay with us. The Q30 Newscast will be right back.
Do you enjoy Quinnipiac sports?
I just keep believing you're going to pick Paige Girardi over Carson Martin. I think
Floor
Carson
general,
Martin...
absolute glue guy on the court.
Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
'Twas the night of Bobcat Breakdown, and all through the suite, all the producers were running around, getting ready for Show of the Week.
I brought mittens because I think that half of this take is cold. I think us Anthonys think alike because I had the exact same idea as you.
Tune in to Bobcat Breakdown every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. on Q30TV.com/watch.
Left for Vidicek. Vidicek walking in. Shot. Save made. Rebound.
Did you miss this goal last night? No worries. We got you covered.
Antonin Varel gets the puck to Ethan Winbach in front of the net. He puts it past Alvin Breya.
Every team, every game.
She shoots it blocker side into the net.
All the news, highlights, and more.
First year connection. Ty Turnage to Keith McKnight.
This is Sports Pause, Monday nights at 9:30, only on Q30 Television.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. If you're just joining us, I'm Freddie Martin alongside Emma Morris. Emma, do you think that the rainy trend is going to continue throughout the rest of this week?
You know, I'm not sure, but I do hope so. Thankfully, we have Zach Stokinger back in studio to give us our full 7-day forecast.
Thanks, guys. Well, we've already looked at the next couple days. Let's take a look at the rest of the week here on the 7-day weather forecast. Starting off on Saturday, the rain will continue from Friday with a high of 38 and a low of 24. Switching over to Sunday, we may get some light snow in the area with a high of 36 and a low of 26. On Monday, the clouds will remain as we'll have a high of 34 with a low of 22. And then on Tuesday, the sun will peek through the clouds with a high of 34 and a low of 17. It's time now to take a look around the Nutmeg State. Starting off in New Haven, we're going to have a high of 38 with a low of 31 with some sun peeking through the clouds. Down in Stamford, we're looking at a high of 38 with a low of 33, but no suns peeking through the clouds. Up in Hartford, we're going to have a high of 39, almost getting into the 40s in February, but lows will remain in the high 20s. That's all the time I have here for the weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
There have been recent outbreaks of measles in the United States, which are driving case counts up and are now sounding alarms for public health experts. They are especially concerned with the lag in vaccination rates among children. Measles is a highly contagious airborne disease. In most cases, involve people younger than the age of 20. The cases in the United States hit a record high in 2025, resulting in 3 deaths.
Measles is continuing to spread rapidly in 2026, with more cases being reported in the first month than what is typical for a full year. There have been at least 937 reported cases of measles in 25 different states. South Carolina has the most with 622 cases. General symptoms may include fever, cough, runny nose, watery eyes, and a rash of red spots. A lot has happened around the country this past week. Q30's Sophia DeBona has all the recent notable headlines for you.
Thanks, guys. Quite a few headlines have been circulating across the country, so let's begin.
New developments have been made in the Nancy Guthrie case, the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie, who was forcibly taken from her home in Arizona. Released surveillance videos from the night Guthrie went missing showed a masked man outside of her door with a gun holster. The man was also wearing a backpack, the only thing that has been officially identified by authorities. The backpack is exclusive to Walmart, leading authorities to work with Walmart's management team to potentially find new suspects. Law enforcement is still on the search for Guthrie after 3 weeks, and the family is still holding out hope for a lead. Across the country, in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, a shooter killed 3 people, including himself, and injured 3 during a youth hockey game Monday afternoon. The shooter has been identified as Robert Dorgan, who died from a self-inflicted gun wound after firing during the game. Pawtucket Police Chief Tina Gonzalez stated, quote, "It appears that this was a targeted event, that it may be a family dispute," end quote. Citizens of Pawtucket are devastated by this tragedy, and the shooting has made headlines across the country. Even across the Atlantic in Italy, Americans' hearts broke when U.S. figure skater Ilya Malinin placed 8th in men's free figure skating instead of his anticipated first-place win at the Olympics. Malinin had already made Olympic history, being the first skater to land a quadruple axel jump, or a 4-revolution spin jump, during a competition in 2022, and was expected to dominate the ice this year. Instead, the self-proclaimed quad god did not land a single quadruple axel the entire competition. Malinin fell twice and bailed on 2 jumps, resulting in a point deduction of over 70 points. Malinin's skate landed him in 8th place with 264.49 points, breaking his competition win streak since November of 2023. Malinin claims his poor performance was the result of all the immense pressure placed on him, but countless upset fans have speculated about the ice conditions on social media. That's all for your national news update. Now back to Emma and Freddie at the desk.
Thank you, Sophia, for the updates, but we do have to take our last break of the night. But when we come back, see a local gourmet cookie shop.
Also, stay tuned for our tasty Bobcat Babble that will almost certainly leave your heart full. The Q30 Newscast will be right back.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I'm f***ing ugly. Anybody want a package?
Don't worry, sir, baby. I got you.
And do you want to breathe?
We got into some sloppy situations.
Uncle Aaron's locked up for touching all those kiddos.
Here comes the boom.
QUnipiac Tonight is Q30's premier sketch comedy show. Watch it live every other Thursday at 9:30 in the Piazza, or tune in online at q30tv.com/watch.
Clap if you care.
Every week feels like a big one for Quinnipiac sports, but the winter teams on campus are headed into their postseason soon.
Q30's Brittany Braun-Lieben has more from the weekend.
Thanks, Freddie and Emma. A lot has happened in the world of Quinnipiac sports, so let's get right into it. Starting on Friday, the women's ice hockey team defeated the Brown Bears 5-2 on senior night. Ansley DeTavio led the team with 2 goals. Zoe Ewens, Taylor Bruschi, and Caitlin Lamarche each added a goal in the win. Felicia Frank made 29 saves to earn her 23rd win of the year, and Tatum Blacker made an appearance in net. Then on Saturday, the Bobcats defeated the Yale Bulldogs in overtime with the score of 4-3. Lamar scored the overtime winner to secure the victory. However, Yale would still clinch the first seed in the ECAC playoffs, with Quinnipiac receiving the 3rd seed. After a bye week, the Bobcats will host the quarterfinal round starting on February 27th at M&T Bank Arena. On the men's side of the ice, the Bobcats played a home-and-home series against the Princeton Tigers over the weekend. The Bobcats won both these games 4-1. With the 8 goals scored this weekend, Quinnipiac had 6 different goal scorers. On Friday, the Bobcats had 30 shots on net and 26 faceoffs won. On Saturday, Quinnipiac took 25 shots and won 40 faceoffs. After scoring 2 goals and 2 assists this weekend,
Ethan Winnebach leads the nation in points with 51. He's now the 7th Bobcat in program history to register a 50-point season. He's also on a 12-game point streak. This weekend, the Bobcats face off against the Cornell Big Red on Friday and the Colgate Raiders on Saturday. Moving to the court on Saturday afternoon, the women's basketball team hosted in-state MAC rivals, the Fairfield Stags. The Stags got their flowers and the win on Valentine's Day with the score of 75-63. This was the Bobcats' first MAC loss of the season. Katie Lamro dropped 30 points and added 4 assists. Lauren Beach added 12 points and 5 rebounds to the game. The Bobcats struggled to shoot from the three-point arc, only making 4 threes the entire game. Ella O'Donnell led the Bobcats with 14 points and 4 rebounds. Anna Foley added 11 points, 2 steals, and 2 rebounds. The Bobcats are looking to get back in the win column, taking a trip down the Merritt to take on Sacred Heart University on Saturday. Well, that's all I have here, but before I send it back, what game are you guys most excited for this weekend? I'm personally excited for a women's basketball trip to Sacred Heart.
Thanks, Brittany. If I had to pick, I think the matchup I'm looking most forward to is Sunday. Men's basketball is taking on Fairfield, Amarri Monroe's last home game. Emma, what about you?
I'm going to have to switch on the other side of the bank. I'm going to go men's hockey against Cornell. Top matchup, one of the last regular season games for men's hockey.
Great pick. If you're looking for a sweet treat, we've got the perfect place for you right here in Hamden.
That's right. Q30's Andrew Allison has the story on a local cookie shop.
And it was the 70s, and it was Sputnik and Apollo and all that, and people just started calling them Moon Rocks because they're these fat, lumpy, chunky cookies.
And that's how Moon Rocks Gourmet Cookies got its name. Located on Whitney Ave, the business has been around since 2014.
And I wound up leaving my corporate job, and my mother and I started the business at 50 and 75. So, never too late.
What makes Moon Rocks different? Well, they focus on flavor over sweetness and use only all-natural ingredients.
Enough people appreciate the artistry. They're definitely, in the name, they're definitely gourmet cookies. These are not, a platter of sugar-filled cookies topped with M&Ms.
Trisha, their baker, gave me a tour of the kitchen and a quick rundown of the process.
We just try to find the best ingredients of no bleach or bromates or dough conditioners.
While Moon Rocks does sell cookies, brownies, and cupcakes, they also focus on fostering a community and supporting other small businesses and bakers.
When we started, it was very difficult to find space. I had people say to me, why would we help you and rent space to you? Your competition, and would hang up the phone. And I don't believe in that. In fact, a lot of the bakers, we have 5 bakers in our kitchen now. And if you're afraid of competition, there's something wrong with your product.
Unfortunately, similar to other small businesses, the COVID-19 pandemic was damaging to Moon Rocks' revenues. Walk-ins have been reduced and business has slowed.
A business consultant was like, well, you need to lower the standards of the level of the ingredients, and we will absolutely refuse to do it. We will go out of business before I change the quality of the cookies.
Moon Rocks was also very prevalent on the Quinnipiac campus up until last year. But after they were barred from promoting on the QU Parents Facebook page and Quinnipiac changed its food truck system, Moon Rocks truck and gift baskets haven't seen campus much. Moon Rocks has a passionate community around it and really does offer something you can't find anywhere else. Reporting from Whitney Ave for Q30 News, I'm Andrew Allison.
Girl Scout cookies are a national staple, but what makes the season stand out are the Scouts behind the boxes. Most stand outside stores, but there's one 6-year-old breaking records with her strategy through social media. Pim Neal is a Daisy Scout from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area and has sold over 100,000 boxes of cookies in just one season.
What was her secret? Going viral on social media. With the help of her family, Neal posted videos that quickly got attention online. People from multiple states placed orders, turning typical Girl Scout cookie selling into a national story. At just 6 years old, the Pittsburgh Daisy Scout has broken many cookie selling records. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have tonight for the Q30 Newscast.
Thank you to all the producers and everyone working very hard behind the scenes. Make sure to follow Q30 News on Instagram and on X, and to stay up to date on the latest on Q30TV.com. For Freddie Martin, I'm Emma Morris. Have a great night, Bobcats.